Where's the microphone at, Brent?
Hello, everyone, and we have made it. Are we actually? Yeah, we're picking up. We picking up all right because I want to tell you what, this has not been the greatest experience. We got new cameras, new, and we've had some difficulties. So just let any if you're watching us, please let us know that you actually can hear us. Jack, can you hear us?
I can hear you.
All right, so maybe you can hear us. We can. I'll tell you what, we had our first ever. Oh, is that the microphone in the way? We had our first ever live Pro Wrestling Inside and Out presents Championship Wrestling Saturday night. I won't say that the crowd was the big success that we had, but I thought everything else went okay, didn't you, Jack?
Yeah, I did. I didn't have to hit nobody, so
You know, Now we have to find another venue. We thought we had another venue, and it's not because the people at the venue were great. They were magnificent. Rick Hayes and all the people at the place, but we just need a place with a higher ceiling. And we thought we had a place, and then this morning, all at once they come to us and say, "Oh, whoops! Now we can't do it." So we're still going to be looking for a location. But everybody worked very hard. All the wrestlers worked very hard. They were really good, and so. Just bear with us as we find another venue, which could take a long time.
What did I tell you about slouching?
Oh, sorry, I gotta. Rodney's on to me because I slouched.
Don't be slouching.
new cameras, one old chair that doesn't hold up.
That is correct. All old stuff in here.
And if anybody if anybody wants to really help us out as well, we didn't make any money off the show, so you can send something to in care of Jack there. All right, Rodney, what's going on in the pro wrestling world?
Tony Khan, yet again. Tony has stepped all in it. He thought, what a great idea it would be to show the CM Punk and Jack Perry footage from last year or whatever it was, and it blew up in his face. Totally blew up his face. I absolutely agree with Eric Bischoff. Tony needs to fire himself next because that was a disaster, absolute disaster. Who? And I absolutely agree with many of the comments that said that Tony Khan is actually his worst enemy, the worst enemy to AEW right now. He needs to find another profession.
I understand they're needing people to sell cars and stuff, so maybe he.
Impossible. But yeah, that's the thing about it is the perception that the WWE wins the PR campaign yet again. It should be no surprise to anybody. I mean, he has lost every time here lately. He's lost every time. However, Warner Discovery put out a press release saying that they've reached 4 million people. 4 million views per week. Can you imagine? 400 million. How Jack, how would you come up with 4 million people viewing that show?
Well, it's not off their TV show. I guess if you add it all together and fudged about 3 million, yeah, you probably get that.
I used to we used to buy advertisement, and radio stations would try to bundle multiple stations to get you to the 18, because we had a demographic of women 18 to 34, and we went to 49 in some markets, and they would try to bundle all of their radio stations together to get the ratings that we want. And I think that's possibly what they've done here. They're trying to bundle everything together to make it look like it's something big, but I have a feeling that's not the case.
Well, that's what we did on Saturday night. We bundled. We had about 45, 50 people, but we bundled the people that went over to watch WrestleMania at the what's that place we ate at earlier that evening?
Buffalo
Wild Wings. Yeah, we added those people as well into our numbers. I mean, they still was watching wrestling. They just wasn't watching ours.
Yeah, I'm agreeing with Kevin. I had the opportunity to see the new champion in his interview. Oh my goodness! Oh, that was stellar. They better get that belt off of him as soon as they possibly can. Not sure to who, but
So we need to pull this up and see if we can see it now.
that interview.
Yeah.
The Cody Rhodes interview. Oh my goodness, it was embarrassing, absolutely embarrassing, and he spit all over people, all over the front row. And then the last week, he actually cried on television, and I thought it's always good for your champion to cry. It really is.
Well, I felt like crying in my time.
Well, that's because of the Saturday Night Show, but that's another story. That's a complete and totally different story.
Well, no, not because everything was good except the crowd. Everything else went over, and the lights. We couldn't get the lights. Hey, but that's the difference. We can tell.
That's the way it goes. I want to talk about that for just a second. If you haven't seen the video, ladies and gentlemen, of this cheater jumping over the top rope like he did in that match. The man jumped over the top rope because of disqualification, and I'm absolutely for him. Because if you watch that was one of those maneuvers where they're in the corner. He normally would go jump, wrestler normally throws him over to the top rope. He would land on the ring apron, jump off the top rope. Well, he knew he couldn't jump off the top rope because that's a disqualification. And that's where he just jumped off the ring. That's what happened. I could tell that's what happened.
Well, the next video we do, we're going to slow-mo that down. And we're going to see whether or not he actually jumped or he was thrown over. I'm not for sure which one.
Rembrandt jumped.
He looked like he jumped myself. I think he jumped. I think he jumped too. I'm going to agree with you. I think he jumped. I'm believing Roman Miller. I think he's telling the truth.
It did look like.
Well, there's a first time for everything.
Slow motion.
He jumped. Well, I mean, if you're all coming off the top rope,
If you've not seen the video, it's available on YouTube and it's on Facebook. And the next video will be coming out sometime next week. And we're going to do a slow-mo so everybody can see whether he jumped or not.
Yeah, well, it looked like he jumped. I'm sorry, it did look like he jumped. I think he's right. I believe you're almost right.
I think he was
because if you watch the video, it was a maneuver we've seen repeatedly, where in other matches where they would go jump into the corner, jump out onto the ring apron, and go up off the top rope. Well, the top rope is a disqualification, and so instead of that, he just decides to fall off the side of the ring.
While we're talking about this, Stephen Michael St. John, tremendous job as doing commentary. And they wasn't over the top. They were really good at what they did. They told the story. I thought they were tremendous.
Yeah, as I was watching Old Mid-South, they did definitely do a different and better job than Bill Watts. Bill Watts always had to tell a story about something that's not even going on in the ring. So I was quite impressed. And then you're right. And Michael St. John did give tremendous credibility to the match. There's no doubt about it.
Hey, Jack, you got a show coming up this Saturday, don't you?
This Saturday in Cropwell, which is Pell City. We're going to be at Celebrations Event Center with the return of Southern Legacy Wrestling. I am not a part of the ownership this go around, but I am office type there trying to help that show get going. And we've got a great card set. We've got a tremendous response. So I think we're going to do pretty good.
Hey, I want to talk about something real quick before we go further on this. We started on Facebook. We started talking about Terry Funk. We lost him in August, I think, of 2023. And I was thinking about the rivalries that he had. And the first one that I put down there was Jerry Lawler. And I'd ask whether or not people agree with that. Jack, I think some people might say, well, I don't know, because they might not have seen the empty arena match between them. But they did other stuff as well. Jerry Lawler, would you put him as one of Terry Funk's greatest rivals?
I think I would. That rivalry was tremendous, and as far as I've heard, it drew some pretty good money.
I think that when you look at Jerry Lawler, I mean, Jerry Lawler's known for a lot of things. Andy Kaufman he's probably known for that more than anything. But if you go back, Terry Funk and Jerry Lawler wrestled each other for the NWA World Title, even, and when he was the champion, and it's available on YouTube if you want to see it. Great match with Terry Funk, but just the match that he had, and almost people got to where they didn't like Jerry Lawler after that. I mean, that was how convincing Terry Funk was in that.
Yeah. Terry Funk, Lance Russell. If you're talking about the arena match, Lance Russell made that. I believe he was actually the third man, and without his commentary and expertise, I'm not sure if we got over it as well. But the combination of Terry, we'll get you some help. Lance, where is he, Lance? Where is he, Lance? It's classic stuff.
My Lance, my Lance. That was just tremendous stuff. Another person that we have down is Dusty Rhodes. And now you got to admit, Dusty Rhodes, they wrestled each other. Texas, Georgia, Florida. Where did they not wrestle each other? And there's going to be a photograph, I think tomorrow. I think it's tomorrow sometime. We do 9, 12, 3, and 6. I think it's when we do our post. But there's a post, and in the thing he says Dusty's an egg sucking dog on his T-shirt. And then I can't remember what Dusty's shirt says, but that rivalry was something else, especially if you go to Atlanta. I mean, some great stuff. Terry Funk's interviews about Dusty. I don't even know if they. I don't know. They probably could air those today because he really only talked about Dusty Rhodes' mama, didn't he?
He did say that. I don't care. I'm going to send you back to Fat City or wherever it is you come from. I enjoyed that. The people laughed about that.
You know, it's another person on that, Ric Flair. And you have to, even though they didn't have a long feud, it started with Ric Flair and Terry Funk pile driving him on the table. Do you remember that, Jack?
Mm-hmm.
And then he did the thing where he put the bag over his head, and they had to take it off television because TBS had such a horrible. Which he probably I could probably understand. Okay, maybe we don't need to show this, but it ended up with an I Quit match with Terry Funk, and he almost, if you'll go back, he almost did the same thing in that match with his leg in that match that he did with his eye. He would fall because I think Ric Flair put him in the figure 4 leg lock, and he would try to get up and he would fall and he cried when he was. Terry Funk was so good at what he did. Harley Race is another one that he had matches with everywhere. I think he had matches with Terry Funk everywhere, and then Jack and Jerry Briscoe I think probably go up there because I think maybe they went to Japan, didn't they?
I believe so. Yeah.
Terry Funk was he was really before his time when you think about things that Terry Funk would do. But
he started with the kayfabe era, as we would say, in the territories, and still was popular, up till he passed away.
Yeah.
So he fit in with ECW. He could do the WWE style. I mean, he really was. He was a pioneer, but he was a man, above his time.
Terry Funk. We've seen a lot of great matches. We saw him have a great match with Brad Armstrong. He was just he was funny, but you in a different way than what wrestlers are today.
He wasn't comedic. He was funny, and there's a difference. It's Bobby Heenan had that same quality. Is they didn't lose their heat. They weren't doing it for the laugh per se. That was the character that they portrayed that just said goofy things sometimes. And it worked so well because he could back it up.
I go back and watch some videos and stuff of him. It's just, I don't know that I ever saw him have a bad match. I don't think Terry Funk ever had a bad match.
No.
Because he understood the psychology of wrestling, which is maybe something people don't understand today, but he could get it. All right, Rodney, you can go back. I just wanted to talk about it. And there'll be photographs on our Facebook page to go with all these, and some good photographs of all these people. that
You know,
he's.
Terry could wrestle a chair.
Yes, he did. He
He
wrestled
could
one.
wrestle a chair. He could wrestle drapes and curtains.
Yeah, he did.
Very good. He could, even his ring attire could beat him. Sorry.
He offered my girlfriend a chance to wrestle him one time.
Oh.
All right, Rod, you want to see what the people got to say? I know we got some.
Okay, well, let's go on through here. We should begin at the beginning. That would be a good part to
Well, yeah, it's
start.
always it's a good to always start at the beginning
Yeah,
or at
Richard,
the end. It doesn't.
Richard Hood, welcome back, guys, and we welcome you back as well, Richard. Kevin Penley, I've been here alone. I ask questions to myself.
Well, I told Rodney to do all this stuff last night and get this stuff together, and he told me he'd rather not.
Yeah, well, anytime you're around, I'd rather not. Anyway, Kevin Penley, I want to hear your opinions of the punk video. Jack, what's your opinion of the punk video?
I have read a lot of the uh, internet's opinions, and a lot of them were backing him. A lot of them were probably equal split of saying, well, he's the one that shoved first and all that kind of stuff. And they keep talking about uh, that's not appropriate in today's age. And as everybody knows, I'm not very politically correct. And there are certain ways we handle our business. And if you're not in it, it's none of your business. And that's my biggest qualm about showing that video is that's too far opening that door for me. I mean, that's not just pulling back the curtain, that's jerking it down, because there's a way that we have always handled business. And if you're going to run your mouth, especially to a veteran, you better be willing to back that up with your fists too. Now, that's the way I come up. And I've seen it happen so many times. And hey, I'm not innocent, and I've thrown a few punches myself over disagreements. But if you believe in something and you're passionate about it, you better be willing to fight for it. And that's anything in the world. And I got all the respect in the world for Punk for handling that the way he did, because he really could have hurt the guy.
Yeah, I mean, all he really did was he just
He
hooked
just,
him a little bit.
yeah,
And before you knew it, he would have been on the ground anyway. So he would have put him to sleep up there because I think he looked like he was trying to get him into the sugar a little bit so
yeah.
he could put him out. So, why did that? When did he get to the point of people not wanting to listen? Because all he really was going to try to tell them is quit doing that stuff that might hurt you.
Yes.
And
In fact, I remember when he first went to AEW, he was talking about how he wanted to work with all this young talent, and he specified Jack Perry as one of those that he thought the kid had all kinds of potentials, and he would just love to be able to help him get there. But you can't help anybody that's not willing to listen to you. And as he said, that was prevalent not just in Jack Perry, but in so many there.
I heard somebody say in this that, and I it really that people like Punk and stuff are behind the times. But the problem is somebody like Punk is not really behind the times because he is the one that helped develop what they're doing today. He's just saying don't do stuff that like what's that guy's name that came off the top of the cage onto or maybe it wasn't a cage, maybe it was just a ladder onto that plate of glass. And if he would have just went over just a little bit more, he would have landed on them chairs.
You're talking about Darby.
Darby Allin, why? I mean, why would you do that? What purpose does that serve?
Well, it shows one thing, and I'll just be frank and honest about it. because he's an idiot.
Oh, well, there you go.
Okay. Most people have said that, or what I have read is that it looks like Tony Khan has no control over his back,
Yeah.
and that it's total chaos. In fact, I heard rumors of that, or stories about people who are actually in the back, and 150 people are back in the back in their dressing room area. I first of all would be going back through there and running everybody out. That's not on the card, but that's just me. But I'm not a nice person. Donnie Hester is back with us. Hello, Donnie. Mickey Mayfield. Mickey Mayfield. So, are we finished with the Cody's finish? I think the answer to Mickey is no. He's going to be pushed down our throats. It's oh boy.
Was his story over?
Oh yeah, he won. Did you not hear about that? This is WrestleMania. Brent.
Well, that story's over, but as he said, subsequent to that, now we start a new chapter.
Right.
What he said, Brent. Now we start a new chapter, and the new chapter in life. And he spit all over everybody. Sorry about that. Kevin Penley. If so, what do you want to talk about? I might scream. Cody's boring. I'm going to tell you I'm not sure if it was SmackDown interview or the promo or whatever you want to call it, where he was standing out there. It was awful, and he was slurring his speech. Maybe he'd been drinking. I don't know. But it was like, man, you need to get him off of there quick.
Well, let me tell you something. I'm the bull of wood. You know what I'm talking about?
He would be better off doing an interview like that than
you can deal with the dealer, baby. That's what I'm telling the bull of woods. You don't know what hot times is.
Guys, what's up with that mask Cody Rhodes have on? Is that a mask or is that just his cadaver face? Was he wearing a mask, Jack?
He came out with a mask like helmet thing on, like a big skull, and that was his tattoo, his gimmick. It was a kind of a 3D version.
So this is the WrestleMania.
Yeah, and he wore it, maybe halfway down the ramp and then took it off. But
and then everybody was just shocked that it was him.
No, everybody knew it was him.
Did they knew it was him? I would think that they'd be surprised by that. It would have been a surprise if he took it off. It was Dustin.
I can't tell a lie. I have not watched any of the WrestleMania. One match. I have not watched.
Well, I have. I watched all of it, and I enjoyed it. Of course, even though they are now wanting to call it pro wrestling again, they're still sports entertainment. But everybody else is too. So I still can I can set myself aside and I can watch sports entertainment and enjoy a lot of it. But when I really want to be interested in not playing Scrabble on my phone while it's on, I'll watch some real wrestling.
Now, really, I've just been busy trying to look for a venue and for our next event, so I just haven't had time.
By the way, Brent, Cody won.
Yeah, well, I knew he won. Yeah, I heard all about that. And I knew
Damon Priest won.
Let me tell you, I knew he was going to win because his wife was on that show.
Oh, is it right? She don't come if he's not winning.
Well, has she ever been there before?
In the audience a couple of times, but not with him. Not dressed up as nicely as she was.
Hey, did they I did see that at the end of the show. I think one might have been the end of the show. Did John Cena come out and he come out at the end of it?
Everybody did.
And give him the Well, I did see is Stephanie not allowed in the back anymore because I thought she was.
Oh yeah, she is. But that was her reintroduction. So they wanted her out there where the fans could see her.
Now is she coming back?
Rumor is, yes, that the Hall of Fame and her appearances at WrestleMania over the weekend were an introduction to bringing her back into the fold. Now, in what capacity, I don't know. Probably that lady that they just fired after 4 years.
Very possible.
Hey, you think what's happened there? She said, "Okay, Dad's gone. I'm back." but I don't want to work with him.
Well, now that's the reason she left was Vince, who, by the way, has sold all but I don't remember if it's 4 or 8% of all his holdings. That's all he
Well,
has left.
I did see a story where the whole thing's gone, but that it might be just a 4%. Jimmy James, what's causing all this? Richard Hood, Jerry
It's the
Lawler.
bull of the woods. The bull of the woods is causing all this stuff, babies.
Yeah, Jerry Lawler had a great run with Terry Funk. Absolutely. And it was Richard. The empty arena match was a classic.
Hey,
Jimmy James.
Did we have a few of those Saturday night?
Yes, we did. It was great. Kevin Penley. If there had not been a Thunderbolt Patterson, would they be a rapping Dusty Rose?
No,
I don't think so.
Hey, Dusty even said that he stole a lot from Thunderbolt, and he said I stole a lot from him, and he said I went with it more than Thunderbolt, more than anybody.
I enjoyed watching the Jimmy Hart Thunderbolt Patterson stuff. I had an opportunity. There was this Thunderbolt was.
Did y'all hear Thunderbolt's speech at the Hall of Fame?
I have not. I tried to find.
Now look, we all know it. We all know him. We know how he is. I've never been around him that he didn't do a little bit of preaching at that gimmick table. And even in the back, if you ever did come to the back, usually he's out there talking to fans. But he got up there and he preached that whole time. He didn't talk about the stuff he had done. He didn't put himself over in any way. He just talked about God and, how people needed to get right. And a lot of internet people, of course, was complaining. And I'm like, then you don't know who he is. Because this is far more important to him than wrestling or anything else in this world. And I thought it was great. I did. I felt like an old country revival coming out.
Richard Hood. Harley Race was the greatest NWA champion.
Dad always thought he always gave it to Jack Briscoe. He said Jack Briscoe was tremendous. I don't know that we ever saw Jack Briscoe's champion. I don't remember ever seeing him, but
He had a lot of great things to say about Dory Funk Jr. as well.
Yeah.
Richard Hood again. If I can get it to come up. Oh, maybe if I push the right button. Here we go. Terry Funk could straight up wrestle and go hardcore.
Yep.
Yeah, Jimmy James. The best thing about Funk was his iconic voice. Yeah. Jerry Phillips. Hello, Jerry. Dusty was the worst. Let me say, Dusty Rhodes was the worst to always book himself in the main event. Plus, good old Vern. Oh, good old Vern. Sorry.
Let me tell you something right now, Jerry. I was the bull of the woods. You wasn't the bull of the woods. I'm going to be on the main event. I booked the thing. You think I'm gonna book you on the main event? No, baby. I'm gonna book myself. I gotta get that main event payoff and that booking fee, baby.
Kevin Penley. Robert Grice is with us. Kevin Penley. There we go. Why isn't Saul Weinroff, Ken Ramey, Sir Clemens, and Jimmy Kent not recognized as great managers? They should be, and it's because they're regional. They're regional, and they were before the.
Because you can't even find any information. You can't even find no matches and stuff with them. So, but very little. There are some stuff, but people just don't remember who they are. Really, if you think about it, 70, probably 6 on. A lot of the people before then, people don't remember. So.
Terry Funk was a legitimate top-tier athlete in his early years in the sport. We got that. Oh, my goodness. We've got the Russians have attacked us here.
I see that. I think that guy right there gave us a $5 super thanks. Is he on YouTube? Or is he on Facebook? I think he's on YouTube.
Wait a minute. I almost gave him the heave-ho. I'm sorry about that, gentlemen. I'm gonna put him up anyway. We welcome you to the program.
I'm thinking he gave us a $5 super chat.
Well, thank you so much.
And I'll be honest with you, I don't know when it came in, and I did email him and tell him thank you so much, or message him and thanked him, because that was very nice. Because we did buy a bunch of new stuff, so any super things, stars, whatever you can throw towards us.
Guess what Brent's getting for Christmas this year? The stuff he's already buying.
That's right, guys. Richard Hood, guys, what was that fight? A shoot or a work with AJ Styles that AJ Styles got in? Did you know, Jack? Is that
You talking
was
about
not?
the WrestleMania match? I
I'm not
guess.
sure, Richard.
No,
we need
it,
more
it was
information.
it was no shoot.
I wish we had. Do we have a translation on here, Brent?
I don't think we do.
I'm not sure. Anyway, so here we go.
And we might be putting stuff up we don't know what it is.
We could be putting up profanity.
Yeah, we could be.
That's right. We could be doing it.
I like
Robert
that guy even more now.
He said, Robert Gross, I watched some of Raw last week. Disappointing, like watching a B-rated movie about acrobats. Well, yeah, it is kind of moving slow. I will say that we did get new the Raw Tag Team belts were retired. Brand new World Tag Team Championship belts look great. I thought they look awesome.
Yeah.
New belts did. Daniel Lang, Brent. Did the wife catch you peeking at Baby Doll's pics again? Is that what you're doing at Rodney's place?
Well, really, this is the thing. We bought all kinds of new equipment. All right, we got new lights, we got new cameras, we got a little bit of everything. So we were trying to see how it would look with both of us. That don't mean we'll always do this like this, but we thought we'd try it out this week. So,
Well, if you're going to be over here any more longer, you better lay off the garlic. I'm just going to tell you right now. Kevin Penley, it's Tony Khan's job to be the boss and no one else, not a friend. Yeah.
There you go, Kevin. And that whole situation with Punk went to him and told him, get a cap on this guy. He said, I don't want trouble. I'm not trying to cause trouble, but he's mouthing off. Handle it. And Tony, in his unique way, says, good job, buddy. And didn't do anything.
Well, I mean, as everybody knows, they've seen, there've been a lot of firings. Tony Khan's, the wrestler's best friends, turned out not to be their best friend anymore.
Well, look, we all know on a personal level now that Vince McMahon is an abysmal human being. But when it came to doing business, he was nobody's buddy back there in the back. You treaded lightly around him. You did what you were told. There was never an inkling of an idea that Vince wasn't in charge. Even if he wasn't at the show, you knew who the boss was. And you knew that somebody was going to snitch you out if you broke any rules.
that's the reason people didn't like Strongbow.
Yeah.
But the truth is, that's what he was being paid to do.
And everybody knew that. I hate the DMV because my tags are due. But they're just doing their job.
Jeremy Richter, hello from Texas. My old friend Chris Adams is on the dark side tonight.
Yeah, I'm going to watch that.
His story is just it is horrible. His
Jimmy James and Cena wore clothes.
He come out at the Oscars that made him look like he was naked. He wasn't. But
yeah. Oh yeah. I remember. Yeah. I see.
Dr. Phil Grice jumped over from YouTube. I was wondering if it's an old-time wrestler would make it on to WWE today.
There's a few.
Right now, they've got or to me, Dr. Phil Bell there, I think the WWE has the ability to get anybody over at this point. I really do, especially if they have any inkling of talent. They certainly could. I mean, they got Cody Rhodes over. So here we go. Kevin Penley, Jack, go to ADW and show how to book a storyline. Tony's last 2 weeks. Oh my goodness!
I tell you, about every other month, 6 to 8 weeks, I'll watch an episode just to see if something's changed, and it never has. And the way they do those storylines is they may do something 2 months ago, and then they don't address it again for 2 months. And then, bam, here those guys are. Oh, y'all remember what happened the last time. No, I don't. There's
Jeremy
just
Richter, Amen, Thunderbolt.
I'm
Donnie
full.
Hester. Donnie Hester's got some words for you. Brent, go easy on the Dusty impressions. I hate to see you fall on hard times. Daniel,
Hey, I've already done that.
Daniel Lang. When Dusty booked himself in the main events, they were hanging from the rafters.
yeah, and
Jessica
that's the
Jessica
thing. That didn't work with every booker, but Bulldog Bob Brown comes to mind. But with Dusty, Dusty was so over, and he knew that he could pull off his ideas because he's the one that came up with them. So he could get everybody to understand the stories that he was trying to tell, and it did make him look like a bigger star. And honestly, he was a bigger star.
Yeah.
Now, with guys like Vern, that was just stubbornness for hanging on too long, unwilling to change. And by the time he was forced to make changes, it was too late and the company was going downhill too fast anyway.
Richard Hood. The guys didn't like George the Animal Steel. He liked snitching.
Well, that's what he was being paid to do.
Yeah.
I mean, it's not, listen, Bill Watts, when Dad would have handled the help with the bookie, he had a sheet and it would say match one, and it would, whatever the match was. And he would have to write down what the finish was, if the match was any good, if the guy showed up on time, and if and Grizzly Smith had to write the same thing. Bill Watts would look and go, "Well, Ronnie, it says here that Bobby Eaton was late, but you don't have him down as late. Where were you at during that time?" So they were just doing their jobs. That's what they were told to do. It wasn't that they were. That's their jobs, and they would have to every night when he'd help. He'd have to give this list of it. And sometimes when he wasn't even booking, he wanted Bill Dundee. I don't know that Bill Dundee ever filled that thing. I think Grizzly Smith might have did it, but Bill Watts was that way. And if you and he would find you when you didn't get when you didn't get together and the stuff wasn't the same. Sometimes both people would get fined.
Yeah,
Dad had a couple of fines in there because one time he got fined because he was 3 cents short. And he got the reports 3 cents off. He fined him for it.
$50 right there.
$50 fine
for 3 cents. Oh, and I don't want to to belinger, if you will, the subject of Cody, but Cody has announced his potential retirement.
Well, didn't he just win that World Heavyweight Championship?
No, he's finishing his story. He sure did. He's already talking retirement, people.
Hey, he should just be happy that they're probably going to give his wife a job now. So just be happy with that and work another 5 years.
He's what, 40 now? Right at it anyway.
I believe, man.
Yeah. So
does he carry his own makeup artist with him?
Do what?
Does he carry his own makeup artist with him?
I'm sure he does.
Because it looks like.
Wait a minute. Now let me ask you a question. How does he keep that makeup on? While he's wrestling.
It's waterproof.
Waterproof makeup.
It's waterproof makeup, Brett. He has to have waterproof. Even when he's not working, he's spitting all over everybody, so it comes off.
Yeah, but that's my problem. I don't have that, so I won't be able to work with him. I don't know that I can.
Well, you might drown.
I just want to keep my old looking self. I don't need to be young.
Well, he's covering up those bags under his eyes and dark circles. Look like the Walking Dead. He looks like a cadaver. I was just wondering when his makeup artist is not working on him if she's doing part-time at the funeral home. Kevin Penley. Was Ernie Ladd a part Mid-South owner or recruit talent? What was his role? He was booker.
Yeah.
He was booker. He didn't own any of it, but he was a booker. He might have promoted a few towns. I think Orange, Texas was his town.
Yeah, Brownsville too.
Yeah,
he ran at Brownsville, I think, one time.
So I think he was pretty much the booker.
That's when we got to sit down with Ernie the one time. He was promoting. It was an outdoor show.
Yeah,
it was an outdoor show, and we got to sit down with Ernie that day, and boy, he was telling us some stories.
Yeah.
Let me tell you something, kids. Let me tell you about the days when I was playing football. I would have wrestled any day. I never played that football. I made money. I could control the people. He said, I mean, these young, even back then, this was like, what, 1983. So these young people, they don't know, they just don't understand. Old farts like me was drawing the money back in the day. It was,
Ernie was, yeah, he was very successful.
yeah.
Ernie was very successful as Booker. Yeah. Um, oh boy.
Is that we're at the end of the?
Wait a minute. No, we got Jimmy Jones. He says that
That's Jimmy
Cody,
James.
Jimmy James, and Jimmy Jones as well.
Both of them.
Jimmy James and Jones.
So the both people are asked the same
They're all
question.
here.
That's unusual.
They are. Cody wants to be senator or a member of Congress. At least he dreams, and does he also dream that he wants to be president of the United States? Oh my goodness. Yeah. Well, good luck with that. All I have to tell you. Good luck with that.
Jackie.
I've heard that he had political aspirations before as well.
Yeah.
Jackie, anything going on that we hadn't talked about?
You got anything, Rodney?
Well, I was wanting to talk about this nonsense that Vince McMahon, after his year contract is up, or his non-compete, is going to start his own organization. I mean, start his own business. That is absolutely the most ridiculous thing I've ever heard.
Are you saying that's a bunch of horse poo-poo?
I'm saying that there is, well, I know who started it. It was the big-nosed Dave Meltzer.
Yes.
Does he have a big nose?
He has a humongous nose. If it wasn't for his nose, he would have no face. It's just terrible.
Have you ever seen Dave Meltzer?
It looks like he's got nose all over his face.
I'm not for sure I've ever seen him.
Well, you've missed absolutely nothing. Daniel Lang, were you guys in the Mid-South when Buck Broadway started doing his own shows? We wasn't. We wasn't there when Buck Broadway was booking running his own shows. He did something with a place called Heritage in Mississippi.
Yeah, Vicksburg, Mississippi.
And it was a really good show.
Yeah.
And actually was doing what we suggested years before, putting the Fantastic into rock and roll. The thing about it is I'm thinking they did 13 weeks of television. That show never played anywhere. Did the Cocos do that show, Bert?
No, I don't think so.
If you could get a hold of them.
They were there, though, wasn't they?
It seems like they were. I went. Did you go to the show? We went to Vicksburg?
No, but I've seen videos from it somehow.
Harry Taylor, Dad was working with up here with doing that North American thing. We went down there to talk to him about the possibility of using some of their footage. And we went to watch this show, and the show was decent. I must say, it was a really good show.
I think that is one of the main objectives of wrestling today. I think that I look at it. Most people do not want to work with other people.
No.
And it would be so magnificent if certain people would just work together. But, I think they could be more successful if they work together.
Gary Gagne, also known as Gagne, but we call him Gagne, affectionately called Gagne here. Here's a question you might want to. Here's a question that might make you think: would Vincent Kennedy McMahon be considered a legend in wrestling? I'm going to say yes.
Yeah, I think so.
Absolutely. Absolutely, I believe it's. I think so. I think so for sure.
Yeah, he deserves. I mean, I don't. I've said this many times. I don't think he's a genius. I never thought he was a genius. I thought he put people in positions that were geniuses, and I think Pat Patterson was. I think he knew what he was doing. I think he was the guy that would put it all together. Because think about how good the stuff was when Pat left. It wasn't as good because I think he was the detail man, and James J. Dillon. With Dusty, even I think he was the detail man. So if you didn't, you always had to have that detail man to a certain extent. Our dad in Atlanta was the detail man, and there was always someone that would be all the details. And if it wasn't with Ole, if it wasn't Dad, it was Gene Anderson. He was the detail person. I think you always have to have that person that has the detail.
We didn't get the punchline to Greg Gagne here. I mean Gary Gagne. I almost got him confused with Greg Google, sorry. But he said the only person who would call Vince a legend is himself.
Hey, I met Greg a few times, and I'm not for sure, maybe twice. I never thought he was a nice person. I've always thought he was somebody. He's about like Mike Graham. Mike Graham was a complete butt. He gave when I looked at him and when I walked in the room, I knew he was going to be a smart aleck. He was never nice, never. He thought he was like 6'7", 325 pounds. He treated Sid horrible in Chattanooga. I mean, absolutely horrible. If I had Sid, I'd have took him back in there and whipped him a little bit because he would have. They wouldn't have got rid of Sid. My ground would have been gone, but he was just oh man, he was just a horrible person.
I tell you what, if you don't follow Sid on Facebook or Twitter, you're missing out because he posts some of the funniest things about historical things, people he don't like, and he'll tell you why he don't like them. It's great.
He liked Ole.
Yeah.
Sid liked him. He said because hey, he told you exactly what to do, when to do it, and how to do it, and he liked that.
Well, like I said, when we were talking earlier about Vince starting his own,
Greg said you guys are three morons who make each other even more stupid. Well, if you will come on here, Greg, we'll see how stupid you are.
Listen, I've been married twice, and I've heard that before. So
I have too. No. Listen, I'm going to tell you what I tell people. We've had people say that stuff to us, and it really don't. We really don't care. Okay, to be honest with you, we don't care because we've been in the wrestling business. We grew up in the wrestling business 30-something years, so we never really care about what people say. But when they do, I always tell them, okay, listen, you think you're so smart. I will bring you on this show. Someone said something bad about Missy Hyatt and Sunshine. And they said how bad they look. And I said to them, I said, well, why don't you do this? I will get Missy on the show. I will get Sunshine on the show. You come on the show, and let's see who looks better, you or them. And you let other people get in touch with you, and I guarantee you won't say that directly to their face. It's just crazy.
I did.
Wait a minute, Gary. Have we met? Because that assumption's pretty spot on.
That's right. Well,
Gary, he's playing the role of Hill tonight. Do you think Mike Brown suffered from the Napoleon complex?
yes.
Yes, I think he did.
Yeah.
I think he did.
I think it always bothered him that he didn't get over the way his daddy got over either.
Yeah.
If he had only said these famous words, Daddy said, "Sell this." Him out a lot. I can guarantee you, he did that in Florida. They'd have stretched him in the.
Well, especially the Dory Funk Jr. and Harley Race and those guys, they would.
Matsuda here. Your Daddy said, "Sell this." Oh, I'll show you selling something. All right. I'll show you selling something. All right. Question. The other thing I was going to ask you about Rhea Ripley. She surrendered the title last night. Is it we're talking about legitimate injury, or is she taking some time off?
It is a legitimate injury. I just looked it up before we came on, and it's right here where the joint joins in the shoulder socket there. They don't know if she's going to have surgery yet or if it's a rehab thing, but either way, she's going to be out past SummerSlam.
Hey,
boy!
When did she hurt that? Was that when
that was? Yeah, no. When she threw her into the wall, when she hit the wall, she hit it.
Because I knew she threw something at her. I watched it. I think it on Facebook. She threw something at them, and I
was thinking, man, that looks stiff. But that wasn't it. that wasn't it. It was when she went into the wall. But
Oh man, that sucks for her.
yeah,
I like her.
I do
I think
too.
I think she's one of the best. She just looks the part. Have you seen? And then we got to go. Have you seen the girl that looks just like China that's being trained to wrestle
Yes,
right now?
I actually I'm good friends with her boyfriend, Rush Freeman.
I mean, look, where's she from? Where's she?
She lives in England. He flies over, she flies over here, whatever several times a year. Um, but yeah, she's a tremendous. I mean, she looks just like China, but she's training now to wrestle because all she did was cosplay before,
Okay,
But she made. I think she made pretty good money, at those convention things, selling pictures or posing with pictures with people.
great though. I've seen her. I've seen her. I mean, she looks just like her.
Yeah,
It's
she's not
uncanny.
she's not tall, but she looks just like her. She's in tremendous shape.
Boy, she is.
Yeah.
Uh, Donnie Hester, if it weren't for Vince, Wrestling Territories could have possibly survived. To show his power, he poached everyone's best talent, leaving nothing for the long time or loyal fans to keep up their interest.
Yeah,
So
he did it to a certain extent. He did.
yeah,
He did limit it to.
wrestling territories. We've discussed this many times. Wrestling territories were going down because the owners were not willing to make any changes in their formats.
And making the necessary investment as
Right,
well.
and so you know when talent is not making the money that they feel they should be making, uh, of course they're going to go wherever they can make the money at.
Sure.
I dislike AEW, but if they want to hand us a big contract, I'll be wearing AEW shirts on this thing every week.
Yeah, I will be too. And I'll talk about how great it is.
I mean, if Tony Schiavone can get on there and lie, we can too.
Hey, I couldn't tell you. I can't tell you if it's better because I don't. I don't think I've ever even watched a YouTube video on AEW, except for the little stuff like what's his name coming down and hurting himself and all that kind of stuff. The little Darby Alley and stuff like that. But I don't. I don't watch it. I watch more of the WWE stuff. I've been impressed with stuff the WWE's doing. The stuff that I have seen, I've enjoyed it. I thought I
They
think they're
they
doing
are reaching their audience, and that's something that we're not included in. Any of
great.
us watching, especially the three of us, we're not their target audience. They don't really care if we like what's going on or not. They're trying to capture that younger generation, which is smart,
Yeah.
and then they're hoping that they grow up dedicated fans so that they've got them locked in until they hit their 50s, and then they don't care about them anymore either. So, of course, by that time, probably they'll be wrestling on the moon. Who knows? Yeah.
Well, we won't have to worry about it. I don't think we'll be here by then.
Um, the Graham family tragedy is even worse than the Von Erichs.
Oh,
4 generations
yeah.
of suicide.
hmm
Yeah, Richard Hood. I'd like to see Cassandra Golden in the WWE or
I would
AEW.
too. Cassandra's really good.
Richard Donnie Hester, he agrees with you on that. Daniel Lang, when do you? Wait a minute. When are you guys going to do the subscriber stuff
We're
again?
working on it. We're working on it. Just the problem with Facebook is they change things so drastically that you can't really ever get anything solidly. They'll once you think you got it down pat, they'll change it on you. It's just crazy. All right. Any last things
Oh,
before
I
we
have
leave?
to say, Jack, if you would, if I could send JD McDonough to you, is that possible? Could you help him out a little bit?
Yeah, I don't know. It would probably hurt my neck to look down that far, but
Well, I'm going to tell you, he and Dominic, he doubled up on somebody. I couldn't tell who it was. I mean, I don't remember who it was. That's how memorable. But the only thing I did remember is terrible punches, absolutely awful punches from JD McDonough. And if he can't do any better than that, he can go back to the next team.
well, I don't want to. Since Dom's name came up, I do want to say, and y'all know, I was really down on that kid when he was tagging with his dad. But over the last year, he has come into his own. I
He still
still
don't know how to get to the gym, though, does he?
no, he does not. That's what I
They
was going
made
to
fun
say.
of him.
But his in-ring work has greatly increased, and I can see why they were high on him because they saw a potential there that I didn't see. But they're. I mean, the kid's good.
That was something I noticed from the show, and I couldn't normally do my fast forward through that. Normally, SmackDown I did it at normally 2, but I did 4 this time, and I couldn't find it on Raw, and I declared that as a lesson.
If you watch it on YouTube, it's just a clip.
Well, that's all I saw was the clips, and I saw the part of the clips, and this was the WWE doing their top 10. This was the attack, whoever they were, whoever Dominic had wrestled against. He got beat, and then JD comes in, and they double up on him, and then here's Dominic holding him up, and some of the worst punches I've ever seen. Just awful, just awful. Victor's better. He said better late than never. And then of course, Kevin Penley, glad to have you guys back. And then Victor, Jack, I saw a clip of you versus Terry Gordon.
I saw that too from inside the ring.
That's right. Oh, Matt Hardy apparently is going to be a free agent.
Yeah, he is. He is already.
And from what I saw, the WWE draft, I've seen several.
That went down the wrong
Would you
way.
like a Heimlich?
I believe I may need one.
Let me blow the smoke away.
I'm sorry. I think it blew in my face there, Jack. I'm sorry.
Dirty Dom can't go to the gym. By the way, there is a fantastic video of Dominic working out with Drew McIntyre, and I believe it was Sheamus. And he has 10-pound dumbbells that he's curling, and he said, "This is the way I learned how to work out in prison." And it's pretty good. It's pretty good. And he's got 10 pounds, and they walked up to him, and he's going, they look at him, they said, just walked off and left him standing there. But it looks like, from what I've read reports, that the NXT is finally going to be an actual legit third brand. And in fact, will be in the
they're supposed to be drafting some of the bigger names to NXT in this upcoming draft.
And although there was, and I'm sure they're going to be still having that tremendous action that they have on there.
Yes, I love it.
It's just tremendous action. And then the other thing is Endeavor is sold to a private executive. I saw that. I did not know the name of it. Their names escape me, but from what I understand, Endeavor is the parent company of TKO. TKO will still remain in the public company, but they take the Endeavor private. So, that's my understanding. That might change next week, but for now, that's what I got. Dirty Dom, I need some weight gainer supplements. Right now, I think he's doing fine. The way they got him right now is he's doing just tremendous, and that was the hope that once they got him away from his father, he would actually break out, and I think he has.
I think he has too.
I think he has for sure.
All right, are we ready to go?
I think we're done. Rob Schumacher, I believe is his name, that did all the great paintings for WWE, that has worked for them for like 10 years. He just recently got let go. I'm sure he'll show up in AEW painting, people going through glass.
That's right.
Bless his heart.
Folks, we want to thank you so much for being a part of Pro Wrestling Inside and Out, except for Greg Gagne.
Oh no! Let's let him come. I want him to come. Come to one of our shows and meet us, because I want you to be certain that I'm what you say I am, because I am.
And it's Gary.
Oh,
we've got him. It's Gary.
I'm sorry, I forgot him that quickly. I remember Gagne because of the name.
Greg Gagne's brother, Gary.
Oh man,
maybe he's his son.
You know what? Maybe that was the problem.
Should not have said that about Greg.
Well, I still don't like Greg. Okay. All right, folks, we'll see everybody next week right here on Pro Wrestling Inside and Out, and Rodney will be hitting the